Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 vanilla perfumes that I have in my entire collection. I want to preface this by saying 80% of my perfume collection is made up of vanilla perfumes or perfumes that have some sort of vanilla note in them, so I am no stranger to this note. Vanilla is probably, I don't want to say my all-time favorite note because I have a lot of favorite notes, but I would say within my top 5 favorite notes ever. And just to give you some more lore about me and my love for vanilla, I have had at one point, not anymore thankfully, but at one point I've had over 300 perfumes in my collection, most of which were vanilla perfumes. I have now curated my collection to, I think we're at 100 or a little bit less than 100. So all of this to say, I know my vanillas and I know a good smelling vanilla when I smell it. And I have done other perfumes in the past where we've talked about more vanilla perfumes and some of my favorite vanilla perfumes, but they were lists that were a lot longer and where I've just shared a bunch of different vanillas. But today I thought I would just narrow it down to my top 5 vanillas of all time, coming from somebody that has smelled hundreds if not thousands of vanilla perfumes. So with all that said, if you are also a vanilla lover, and I know that there's a lot of you out there, then just keep watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn post notifications on, and let's get started. Okay, my first favorite vanilla of all time is Eilish by Billie Eilish. This perfume right here is so good. I also love the bottle. This bottle is actually pretty heavy too, and it can also double up as nice decor in your home. It's actually a really stunning bottle. I really love the bottle. This is one of the sexiest, rich, creamy vanillas without being boring, without just being plain vanilla. I have a lot of more plain vanillas in my collection as well, which I made sure to not include in this video because I didn't think that that would be fair. If I came on here and I was like, yeah, one of my top favorite vanillas is just this perfume that literally only has vanilla in it in the notes, I feel like that'd be kind of cheating because it's like, yeah, duh, that's literally the only note in this perfume. So the vanillas that I'm talking about in this video are just richer, more complex vanillas, but still the heart of all of these perfumes is vanilla. And with Eilish, this is such a rich vanilla that leaves the most intoxicating sillage and just scent trail everywhere you go. I get compliments on this all the time, and I've had people that don't even like stronger scents or vanillas that have smelled this and have loved it. Notes wise, this has top notes of sugar, red berries, mandarin orange, middle notes of vanilla, cacao, spicy notes, rose, and base notes of tonka bean, amber, musk, and woodsy notes. To kind of break this down, this perfume starts off a little vibrant in the beginning. It's a little spicy and sugary. As it starts to settle, you get that cacao, which mixes so well with the vanilla. It just intensifies the creaminess of it. And then the spicy notes, they just add a little bit more complexity. But what I love about the spice notes in this is that they add to the vanilla. They don't take away from it. A lot of the time spice notes just kind of overpower everything. That's not happening in this one. And then in the base notes, this just ends off smelling like vanilla ice cream was just poured on your skin, but there's also a nice woodsy sexiness. It's so good. This is a top tier vanilla that will get you compliments always, basically. Right. My next favorite is a vanilla that I have actually hated on so hard. All of my viewers that have watched my channel for years will know about this. But Kayali Vanilla 28 actually did not start off as a love. Actually started off as a huge hate. You can go back to my videos and see I've done numerous videos where I've talked about how much I hated this perfume and how I thought that it smelled like a church, overly mature, just not good at all. And here I am now. This is so good to me now, and honestly I don't think this was just me changing type of situation. I think the perfume itself changed, therefore I ended up liking it, because as I've said in many videos where I've talked about this, now that I actually love it, when I first got this back when I used to hate it, the juice was so light, and I think that's just maybe because it didn't have enough time to kind of like richen, or maybe it just wasn't mixed right, maybe it got a bad batch, I don't know. But that bottle I did not like. It literally did smell like the inside of an old church to me. But this is rich, resinous, almost jammy vanilla. It is so intoxicating. It's a completely different vibe from the Eilish one. This is more creamy, whereas this one's more woodsy and just like, I don't want to say sexier because they're both really sexy, just in different ways. But the woodiness in here just kind of gives this one a little bit more of an edge, and it's more jammy rather than creamy. And this also has brown sugar, it has tonka bean, there's a little bit of florals in here, so it's a bit more of like a complex blend. And the amber, it's just, yeah, it's more of a resinous, woodsy, jammy type of vanilla, and it is absolutely intoxicating. I love this. Next, Mod Vanilla. This perfume is so slept on. I feel like when you look at this, maybe at an Ulta store, you'd probably walk right past it because it literally looks like a little egg. You don't think this is gonna give you much, but this is such a good vanilla, and it actually reminds me a lot of Vanilla 28, but this one, it's still flirty and sexy, but it's a tad bit more mature and grown, whereas this one is a little bit more flirty and a touch bit younger. And this has the same kind of resinous, woodsy kind of vibe as Vanilla 28, but in here you get an actual note of plum, so it kind of just gives this one a little bit more of a fruity, still a very deep, rich, jammy kind of fruity, not uplifting, fresh fruity kind of feel, but that fruit does kind of uplift this a little bit more than Vanilla 28 that is just no fruits at all. And this one also has praline and also cacao butter, and I love this. This is another hugely complimented scent. Vanilla, just in general, vanilla will get you tons of compliments because I think we know this by now. There's literally studies done on vanilla and how statistically if you wear vanilla, you're perceived as more attractive. I don't know what that's about, but there's literally research on this. Anyways, love this one. It's a tad bit fresher than the other two that I just talked about, and the other ones that I'm gonna talk about, a little bit more on the fresher side, and I would say maybe a little bit more wearable for like day to day, but just such a stunning scent. And I think Ariana Grande herself actually wears this, which I know doesn't say much because it's literally her brand. Obviously she's gonna market it, but she has come out with a ton of perfumes and she could wear any one of those, and I always see her talking about Mod Vanilla. She even has a Vogue makeup video, and I think she pulled out Mod Vanilla. And just as additional info, if you also love Sol de Janeiro Cheirosa 40, Mod Vanilla is pretty much the perfume equivalent of Cheirosa 40. They're almost identical to me. Next, Burberry Goddess, the best vanilla. Now, if you don't want to spend the money on Burberry Goddess and you want pretty much the exact same scent at a fraction of the cost, definitely get Angham by Lattafa, which is an Arab fragrance, and I think that one is under $30. So way less than this one, which I think retails at over $150. But this is sexy. This is going out. This is first date and I want to leave a long-lasting impression and I don't want to leave their mind. Vanilla. Burberry Goddess is just that girl. She's a baddie. She's a baddie for sure. This has 3 different types of vanillas, and with this scent you're gonna get vanilla in the top notes, you're gonna get vanilla in the middle notes, and you're gonna get vanilla in the base. So you're pretty much never losing that vanilla. This has top notes of vanilla, lavender, cacao, ginger, middle notes of vanilla caviar, and base notes of vanilla absolute. Definitely starts off a little lavendery. When I say this, people may perceive it as a bad thing, but there is a little bit of masculinity in here, especially when it first opens up due to that lavender, which I personally find makes this a trillion times sexier. But I know some women don't want to smell masculine, and I don't want you to kind of misconstrue that, because this is not a masculine smelling scent at all, but it just has a little touch of that edge, of that just sexy feel to it that I love so much, and it's definitely due to that lavender. Then you also have cacao. You have a ton of sweetness in here due to all of the vanilla that's in here mixed with the cacao. It's a lot of vanilla. Definitely that's the heart of this. And then that ginger adds on to the spice, which works really well with the lavender. All these perfumes are huge compliment getters, but I think out of all 5, this is probably the #1 most complimented in my experience. The last vanilla perfume, which I don't think is marketed as a vanilla perfume, but I see it as a total vanilla perfume. And I know I have not been able to shut up about this scent ever since I got it, but I feel like that just shows how much I love it. But the Rare Beauty perfume, this is so good, and I'm not gonna stop talking about it. This is caramel vanilla, and it's along the same lines as Burberry Goddess, but the reason why I love this is I love this scent profile so much, but sometimes this can be a little too much for every day. You definitely can wear it every day, but there's times where I just want to go for something a little bit softer, and that's where Rare comes in. This also brings that lavendery, delicious, spicy vanilla, but in here you also have added notes of caramel. You have things that kind of tone it down a little bit and make it a little bit more creamy and lactonic and just warmer. This feels like a warm hug, and it's something that you want to wear when it's like a rainy day, cozy day, and you just want to feel like you are wrapped in a blanket. That's what this feels like to me anyway. And here you also have that cacao, but you also have pistachios, so it has that nutty, gourmand, delicious sweetness to it, which mixes so well with the vanilla and the caramel and the cacao. But then it has the same type of spice as the Burberry Goddess, because this also has ginger in it, and it also has pink pepper. Not quite as spicy, but very similar scent profiles, other than the fact that this just feels more cloudy, creamy, cozier, and this is more I want to make a statement on a date night type of thing. Those are my top 5 vanillas, and I feel like it would not be a me video if I didn't include an honorable mention. It was already so hard to do a top 5. I had to do one last vanilla. This vanilla has been with me probably almost a decade. I have loved this even before I got into perfumes as much as I am now. Island Vanilla by Pacifica. This is the old formulation of it, and I love the old formulation. I haven't smelled the new one. The new one has a completely different look, and they've actually updated the notes as well, so it has completely different notes. This has vanilla, white honey, fruity notes, tea, and jasmine, and the name of this could not fit this more perfectly because it literally is an islandy vanilla. It smells like a island girl, and she has a hibiscus flower in her hair. It's so beautiful and tropical without having any coconut in it or smelling like sunscreen. It's just like pure vanilla that you got straight from the island. And I do want to mention the new formulated island vanilla, because you can't get this anymore, unfortunately, unless you search for it on like Mercari or eBay or something like that. But the new formulation has top notes of lily of the valley, lime blossom, vanilla infusion, middle notes of jasmine, vanilla orchid, sandalwood, vetiver, and base notes of vanilla bean, sugar, and cacao. The notes in the new formulation also sound absolutely delicious, although they are a lot more notes, and honestly kind of more delicious notes than even the older one. So I'm really curious to know what they've done with the newer one. Those are all of my top 5 vanillas. I mean, it was top 5 technically if you didn't include the honorable mention. That is it for this video. Let me know your top 5 favorite vanillas of all time, of any perfume you've ever smelled ever in your life, in the comments down below. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.